So, but we'll see how that goes, right? I know someone that was super technical, went into management, hated it, went back to being, super technical, and he just stayed there and he loves it,
But I think you have to be in the right mentality, right mind frame, right phase of life to be like, hey, this evolution of life is different, right? Because dude, people who work for me are extremely brilliant, reverse malware, ransom negotiators, and nice people. But they're like, I don't know how you do what you do, Rico. Like, I wouldn't want to do. I'm like, I love dealing with clients. That's just me. But at the same aspect, I'm like, was there, not as technical as you are, but I just realized like I like this stuff better, and I changed my mind. And a lot of technical people are like, no, I just want to turn this one widget and wrench. I was like, have a little bit more foresight of where that widget's going. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point. And that's something that I try to touch on quite a bit, right? Is, building your career and your skill set off of what's coming rather than what's here today, right? You should have the stuff of what's here today. You should have that skill set. You should be able to, operate it and whatnot to the highest levels, but you should also be looking, to what's coming, right? So for myself, at least the past couple times, right, it's been tied to a degree, right? So I got my master's degree, and that kind of catapulted me into security and cloud security. Now I'm working towards my PhD doing, satellite security for communications satellites and implementing zero trust within it to prepare it for, post quantum, right? Because I see all of those things going on. And my mentality is the next big war is going to start in space long before it ever starts on the ground, right? We kind of saw that with Ukraine to some extent, where they were hacking their power grid. Russia was hacking their power grid and literally just shutting it off. Well, luckily for Ukraine, it wasn't really as tied into IoT as it is in other places of the world, like America, right? And so they could manually power back up their grid and kind of get around the exploit, just turn off the computers and power it back up manually, right? Well, in my opinion, I think the next evolution would be warfare against satellites. If I was going to go into a country, and we did this with Iraq, right? You immediately just turn off all communications. No one in that country is making a cell phone call out. They're not making a satellite call out. They're not doing anything. They're not getting internet. You're not getting power. You're not getting water, right? All of that stuff is actually tied into the satellites and in some ways. So if that were to ever go down, you have pretty major issues, at least in my opinion, right? In my own research.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm trying to prepare and adjust and grow my skill set towards that area for something that I guess, feasibly, I guess it may never happen, but I think it'll be here in 5 to 10 years, right?
it's definitely happening. I went to Ukraine to go see it for my own eyes, and I have a different perspective of the war. And also went to Gaza and Israel to see the reality of the situation. I have a different perspective too. Being on the news, I can kind of do that. When it comes to, satellite warfare, what I think is if you look up and you adopt and understand the methodology of Blitzkrieg, what the Germans created, right, dominate the air, sea, and land all at one time, you can definitely dominate the whole battlefield itself. So you're not too far off. I think you're spot on the game, and you'll more likely see it maturitize and amasticize and materialize within the next 3 to 5 years. We're already here, It's just a matter of watching the satellite fall out of the damn sky now. So,
Right.
and we'll see it. So I think you're spot on, man. I think you are where you're supposed to be, and I think you're honestly, you're way ahead of the people, way ahead of the other people.